David, good morning. Welcome to India.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah,
Can you hear us?
yeah, we can hear you. We can hear
Quite
you.
good.
What about our voice? Are you able to hear my voice?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
So I request all my students to turn your videos on, to turn your cameras on, please.
Mhm.
Watch the Nagalakshmi, turn your cameras on so that our guest teacher can see you. So David, could you please introduce yourself?
Introduce. Yeah, so I'm Mr. David Renton. I'm originally from Scotland, but I'm in America now in South Carolina, and this is
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a 10th grader at Portergoud High School. That's it. I live in South Carolina.
what age are you?
Oh, I'm 15.
Yeah, the grade one.
I ask my students to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
Who is going to start first? Yes.
Sir.
Nagalakshmi, start yourself. Nagalakshmi.
Yes, sir. Hello, my name is Nagalakshmi.
Hi.
I am studying in 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My future ambition is to become an English teacher. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
What can I do to improve my accent?
Oh.
That's a really good question.
Well, we have two very different accents. Can you tell? Yes.
Yeah, so there are lots of English accents all across the world. Even in where we live in South Carolina, there are a lot of people who speak differently than even how we speak right now. And I think if possible, improving your accent, I'd say if you have access to like listening to recordings or to movies or shows or anything with American English, so you could speak like me.
Or real English if you want to speak like me.
So that's my suggestion.
Yeah. We were actually just talking about this because when I visited Norway a few years ago, and in Norway, a lot of the people that spoke English had accents, but they weren't. There was some of them had American accents, some had English accents, but they were not English or American. They'd picked it up from movies and TV. Because in Norway, they don't subtitle the American movies. They just listen to it in English, and I think that yeah.
So, in fact, most of my students are
Thank
living
you.
in age where they all speak their native language. So when they speak English, they come under the influence of their mother tongue, including me also. So especially they have to concentrate on watching the movies, especially the English movies and American movies or British English movies. I think if they are exposed to these kind of maybe movies or something like that, there is a possibility to improve their levels in English. But still, they are passionate about improving their accent because accent is something that that can give you the value in the society. And so there are many questions coming up now, and most of the questions are related to the accent because they are so passionate about learning more information about accent. So let me ask some more students if they have any questions regarding the accent. Yes, so who is next? Yes, Lohita, would you like to ask the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Before asking the question, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Lohita Girja. I study in 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV and dance. My future ambition is to become an English teacher. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Do you think that accent plays crucial role in determining one's career opportunities?
Hmm. As you said, does accent play a big role in career opportunities? I don't know that it does here, do you? I mean,
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think it does here so much. I guess maybe you had a really kind of country, kind of redneck accent here, it might.
Yeah. So where we live is in the south of America. So a lot of people speak differently than me. I can kind of imitate it. But
Maybe
there
I
are,
should do that.
should I? So people where we live can often speak like this, like, "Hey y'all, how are you doing today?" Which is clearly different than how I'm speaking now. But there are lots of teachers that speak like, "Hey y'all."
I take it, I mean, I guess we have it from our, do you think it does play a role in India, the different accents you have for getting a job or careers?
In India, I think most of the Indians they speak the same English. I think we all speak different regional languages, so more or less our English is same. So that's why we are allowed to improve our accents, whether I am living in northern part of India, southern part of India, eastern part of India, western part of India. We are allowed to improve our accents because the reason for improving our accent is whenever we go abroad, I think the problem arises, especially in order to communicate the native English speakers. So to communicate with my fellow Indians is not a problem because their English levels, my English levels are same. Their accent, my accent is same. But the problem is when I am about to communicate with a native English speaker, then the problem arises. So this is the reason for improving our accent. Of course, there are many institutions in India where the trainers train the people in order to mold our voice, in order to mold our voice. Maybe there are some institutions here. But still, I think Indians struggle to improve their accents because of the thick accent that we speak thick accent actually. So because of the influence of our mother tongue, we can't get rid of it. But of course, through thorough practice, I think definitely we can get over this problem. We can get out of this problem. We can overcome this problem. Yeah. So
Well,
let me
I mean,
ask,
yeah,
Neeraj, do
sorry,
you
I
have
was
any?
going to say, yeah, you go do that.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead and ask.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
I am Neeraja. I am living in a village called Ailavaram. I am a student at ZPHS High School. I am studying 9th grade. My hobbies are playing games and watching TV. My future ambition is to become a nurse. I want to ask a question, sir. Could you please list out some other words that are different from British?
Some words that are
So
different.
she is specifically asking that we usually use the British English and American English. So do you have any list of words that are different from the British? So can you
Yeah.
list out some words? That is what we want to know
I-
from you.
Because I've been here 3 years, so I'm starting to forget which way it is. But there is a lot, yeah. Like, what do you call, you get sneakers on, don't you?
Mhm.
So, show your sneakers. So what would you call that? Or shoe? What would you guys call that?
Yeah, Neeraj,
What would you call that?
yeah, what do you call it? Neeraj.
Yeah, what would you call it in English in India? I would call it, in Scotland we call it trainers. In America they call it sneakers.
Mhm. Or tennis shoes.
Or
depends.
tennis shoes, yeah. Another one is if you go up in an elevator, here they call it an elevator. In the UK, we would call it a lift. Do you guys call it a lift? What else? Potato chips
Oh yeah.
instead of crisps. tap and faucet. There's a lot.
There are lots.
Yeah, even simple things like the way they say the words are the same. So I would say I would put my car in the garage, and they would say garage.
I say garage.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have one more difference actually. The medical shop and maybe another word is there in America. I think. In British, I think the pharmacy shop or maybe medical shop. I think.
Say that again.
Pharmacy,
Oh, pharmacy.
pharmacy shop or medical.
I'd either say pharmacy or drugstore. I think a lot of people here
Yeah.
call it a
Yeah, we would call it pharmacy.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, we call it
But
pharmacy.
in India, we all use the pharmacy shop. I think quite widely we use pharmacy shop. We don't use the drugstore. I think drugstore is a very familiar word in America. I think. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of words that come up and I'm starting to forget. Like the first year I worked in here, I told one of the kids he should go out into the hallway. Or no, so I said the corridor, go into the corridor. And the kid looked at me like, what? And then I said, the hallway, the corridor. So yeah, you don't call it corridor, do you?
No, we don't call it corridor. It's
Yeah.
usually just hallway for us.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
in
yeah.
India, Britishers ruled India almost for 200 years. So the influence of British still exists in India. So most of the Indians they follow the British accent, the British English rather than the American English and American accent. So whatever books which are mainly based on the British, so we give the 100% priority for the British English. We have used the Oxford dictionaries quite widely here in all schools. So we first give the priority for the British accent rather than the American accent. So still we have some questions. Let me check. Yes, Kaushik, do you have any question?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Kaushik. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My future ambition is to become a police officer. Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes.
Yes, Kaushik.
What subject do you teach?
David is asking about your reading subject. What subject do you teach at your school?
All right. Okay. So I actually teach computer science. Okay. You have let me get you. And Anna, you can tell that you do computer science.
Okay, yeah. So I like to do computer science with Mr. Renton at school. It's like we work on a bunch of different projects and robots and stuff like that. Pretty cool. That's our robot.
So yeah, it's a computer science, but we do a lot of different technologies. So yeah, technology is big already. I know it's big in India as well, isn't it?
Unfortunately, in my school, we don't have any teacher for computer science. So we are badly needed actually. So we don't have any computer science subject in our core curriculum. So my students,
American schools as well.
so these students after leaving the school, they have to learn the computer as a subject itself. So since they don't have any subject in their curriculum. So that's why they always love to learn more about the computer science. So it is really unfortunate as far as our education system is concerned. So we are really unlucky in that aspect. Yeah. Do you think that computer science is the need of the hour? Because you are teaching computer science at your school. So do you think that computer science is a must for a student in this 21st century?
Yeah, I mean, I think computer science is like in so many industries, you know, there's very few, I don't think there's any industries now or businesses that don't use computing in some way. So if you can learn to program, to code, whatever you want to call it, it definitely makes you very employable. And also, as I'm sure you know, things like cybersecurity are very, very important. We had an issue a few weeks ago where gas was hard to get because someone hacked into the gas pipeline in America, and we were having trouble getting. Well, there's another example, two different words. So in America, they call it gas. If I was back home, I would call it petrol for petroleum. But yeah,
yes.
we couldn't get gas or petrol for our cars because, or we had to line up for. There's another one, line up, and I would say queue up. In America, they say line up, and I would say queue up. So yeah.
Like.
So there you go. The words are coming.
Yeah.
Varshita, it's your turn. Varshita, it's your turn. Varshita and Veda.
Yes,
What's
sir.
Right.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
My name is Ashita. I'm studying 9th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. Can I ask a question, sir? What is your teaching philosophy?
I don't
What
teach.
is your teaching philosophy?
Oh, teaching philosophy. Okay, so we actually, the computer science classroom that we have is actually quite different to most of the classrooms here. So some classes tend to be more lecture based, where they not. Some do, some don't, but the teacher will talk to them for a long time and then they'll sit and do exercises. In computer science, we do very much projects. So like, that's why we have the robots. So we will do some teaching, but a lot of it is called discovery learning. So the kids will try and figure things out themselves. They'll try and problem solve. So they kind of learn stuff by doing things and figure out and solving problems. So it's a bit different the way we do in computer science. It's a very project-based discovery learning approach that we take, which is not the way it is always taught. It's a bit different here. And one thing that's interesting is, as you see, Anna is a girl. I don't know if you can tell that. But computer science, especially back home in the UK, in the United Kingdom, tends to be very, and in America as well, tends to be very dominated by guys, by males. Our computer science program is very much 50-50. And I think it's partly because of the approach we take. I don't know if you think that, but I think it's partly because of the approach we take to teaching it, that it's project based. And we also explore the kind of creativity side of it as well, which I think helps. I don't know if you maybe.
So I'd say that if I have any advice for you all, especially the girls here, if in the future you ever have the opportunity, definitely try doing some computer science, or like if somebody says, I know there are a lot of guys in that program, but just do it if you can, because it's super cool. And also continue on your journey with English, because it'll prove to be super useful. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, Anna's she's learning is it Mandarin you're doing?
Yeah, Chinese, Mandarin.
And what else do you do here?
Thank you, sir.
So Anna, actually, I have a question for you. What will be your future plan? Do you have any particular life ambition? So what do you want to do after?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think my life ambitions at this point, I really want to be a lawyer one day. So that's my dream job at this moment. I also want fluent in Chinese. So that's another goal of mine.
Okay.
I think
So
she might be president.
Is there any specific reason for learning the Chinese language, Mandarin?
What was that?
Is there any specific reason for learning it?
She was meant to be going to Chinese Taipei to Taiwan this summer, but because of the pandemic, she's going to do it virtually. But she was actually, weren't you were going to spend some time in Taiwan?
Okay, I understood. But anyhow, I really my best of luck to you to life for future. So Jagadish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Jagadish, can you show a little bit of the outside your house? Outside your house. Can you show us a little bit about? Yeah. Just turn your camera. Turn your camera. Yeah. Slowly. Turn your camera slowly, Jagadish. So this is actually typical look of village. Typical village look. You can see the fields, greeneries are there, greenery fields are there. So
Is
his
that
house seems to be on the outskirts of the village. His house is exactly located on the outskirts of the village. So Jagadish, do you have any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How many students are there in your school?
So our school is, we have little kids and then kids who are in middle school, which is like they're 11 through 13 years old. And then there are kids in our high school, which I'd say is 14 through 18 years old. So in our high school where we are, there are about 400 kids. How about in your school?
Jagadish, can you tell the number of the students studying in our school?
500 students, sir. 500 students.
500?
Oh, very similar to ours.
Mohan Sai, do you have any question?
Sir. Hello, sir. My name is Mohan Sai. I'm studying 8th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, watching TV. My future ambition to become a police officer. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
Could you please explain the British accent and American accent?
Explain it.
British.
Well, I mean, I'll go with the British and then I can talk about the American. So the British accent is very complicated because I'm Scottish, which is part of Britain, and my accent would be very different from an English person or a Welsh person or an Irish person. So we have multiple different accents. Even going like if you drive for like 1 hour in Scotland, the accent would change dramatically. So it's very different. So, and the American accent, explain it. That's a good.
That is a really good question. I haven't thought much about it. So I think my accent, how I speak right now, is pretty standard for Americans. I think almost everybody you'll meet will speak in ways that are pretty similar to how I'm talking. But I have
there is some.
There is some variety.
Like New England and
yes, for sure. So because we're in the South, I can do it again, but a lot of people speak like they use different words and they sound like this, whereas I would sound like this if I'm speaking in my real accent. And then up north, they talk a little more, I'd say like they use their nose more. Like it sounds a little more nasally than how I'm talking now, and I can't do it too well, but it's like, watch out, like we're walking here, like it's that.
the Boston accent. Yeah.
It's very different. So
I think as well, like you were asking before about jobs, I think it shouldn't happen. But I think if you talk more like Anna, you'd have a better chance in a job than if you talked with what they might call a redneck accent or like she's doing.
Yeah.
Because it makes you appear more educated, I would think. Yeah.
I'd agree. What do you guys think is the coolest accent? American or British or Scottish?
I would like to ask one of my students. So students, we have a question from our guest student. So which accent you think is the best, the British accent or American accent? Which accent you want to pick out? You want to pick? Which accent you think is the best? Anybody?
British accent, sir.
British. You are now voted to the teacher. Okay, good. Next, Radhasri, do you have any question from your side? Alice,
Yes, sir.
go ahead and ask the question.
Hello, my name is Vedasri. I'm studying in 9th grade. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
Which accent is easy to master?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know. I think if you base it on actors, there is a lot of British actors working in American TV and movies who do very good American accents.
mhm.
And I think it's partially as well because probably like, and I'm sure in India as well, there's a lot of American movies, and it's the same in Britain. We watch a lot of American movies, so I think we are used to the American accent, which I would think maybe makes it easier for us to mimic it. Whereas I think sometimes Americans find it harder to do the British one, or
I can do the British accent.
see,
Oh no. Okay.
English or Scottish,
I can do the English
Yeah, let's do
accent.
English.
So,
not a Dick Van Dyke
I
English.
can say, "Hello, how are you?" That's my English accent. I clearly don't talk like that regularly.
That's not bad. Yeah,
Thank
that's not
you.
terrible.
Thank you.
It's not terrible. It's not quite. It's not
it's
quite
pretty-
Mary Poppins, but yeah.
It's pretty hard to do for me. But I can imitate lots of other American accents pretty well.
Yeah, Anna, actually, I have a
Yeah.
question. You are so lucky to have
Yes,
a
sir.
teacher. You are so lucky to have a teacher like David, and you can learn a great accent from him, actually the Scottish accent. So Scottish accent and British accent is believed to be the standard,
You understand me?
is believed to be standard accent as far as the Indian psychology is concerned. As far as the world is concerned, the British accent is the standard accent. So I think, do you pick the words of the pronunciation from the David every day as he teaches the computer science every day? So do you pick the words, maybe the different accent from him every day? Or do you feel the same? And do you find any difference between the your accent and the David accent? Or do you feel any difference or same? Or if there is any, do you pick any words from him? Because you have a great resource in the form of David. So he himself a Britisher. So do you learn a lot of English accent, especially the British accent from him in your everyday
I don't think
classroom?
Americans feel any need to learn a British accent, do you? No,
Mhm.
there's not really.
No,
No,
I
they think they're the greatest country in the world. You see?
yeah, that's true. That's very true. So in America, I don't think we've ever learned English through somebody who speaks with a British accent. So I haven't had much exposure to that. Like I haven't been able to hear lots of British accents like I'm sure you all have or Mr. Renton has. So it's pretty different. But I'd say I hear some British accents on TV shows. That's probably where I learned to do my pretty bad ones. But
Do you want to see outside our school? We can take a walk and we can show you
Yeah, sure.
the camera thing, and we can go to that outside. But I haven't even had yours. Is that like your outside or? I forgot one guy.
this is my school uniform.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, this is our computer science room. To see.
very cool. Very cool.
Take your tour to the outside.
So nice.
So this is an American thing that we don't have in Scotland. All the lockers. Yeah.
So each person has their own, and we can put our stuff in, and then just close it and get it back later. Pretty cool.
Oh, super.
You could open that
Oh
door,
my.
can't you? It's very.
Hard,
Is it hot in India right now where you are? Is the weather hot? Can you hear us? Hold on. I'm going to change Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm going to change Wi-Fi. Sorry. I'm just going to change Wi-Fi. Hold on.
It doesn't.
Oh, can you get grab one of the teachers quickly then? See if Tina Fox, is she teaching? Can you see us now? Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, we're just trying to get a badge to open because I forgot mine. You can kind of see out there. We're going to take it. Yeah, this is one of our Chinese teachers. We're talking to some kids from India.
Hello.
There you go.
Students are already outside. Yeah, it feels that they're playing outside.
So, there's one other Scottish guy in the school. Johnny! We're on a call to India.
All the kids are saying hello.
That's funny. We'll go back in. It's very warm here right now. I think it's maybe just open now.
So what is climate like in Carolina? Is it hot weather or cool?
Very
like-
hot.
So what kind of weather prevails
It's not.
in this?
It's kind of tropical, isn't it? It's kind of not quite as tropical as like Florida, but oh yeah, I'll show you that.
Yeah, so where we live, we get a lot of really big trees, oak trees, and they grow this Spanish moss because it's super hot outside. It's really humid, so there's lots of water in the air because we live right by the ocean. So our trees look like that. Pretty, very pretty. That's the rest of our campus. So it's pretty warm lots of the time.
Thank you so much.
What is it? What's the weather like?
Thank you so much for offering a virtual tour of your school. Really amazing. We have really enjoyed your virtual tour. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, do you have
Have
any
a good
questions? Do you have any questions from your side? Because still we have 7 minutes time is left. So do you have any questions?
What makes everybody so interested in learning English?
Yeah. So that's very interesting question. So students, as you know, all the you have been attending the Zoom classes for the last 2 months, even though our schools have been closed due to the COVID-19. But you have been continuing. You have been attending the classes continuously for the last 2 months. So, Lohita, I would like to ask a question this for you. So, what made you attend these classes regularly, even though the schools are no more, examinations are cancelled? So, there is no need for you to attend the classes. So, what made you to attend these classes regularly? Can you give the reason, Lohita?
Learning English and
What-
grammar,
Yeah.
going to other countries.
Does
So
it help
you
with
need that,
Help to higher studies.
Mhm.
does it help with getting a job in India if you can speak good English?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Getting good jobs.
Moreover, she wants to become an English teacher. So communication skills for this girl is must. So that's why she is very serious in learning the English language. So yes, any more questions? Still we have 5 minutes time is left from your side.
Yeah.
Oh, is there any place that you want to visit one day in the UK or in America?
Yes, very interesting and very important also. So I think Neerja, I would like to ask this question for you. What place do you have any place in mind to visit if you happen to go over to either UK or USA. Do you have any specific place to visit? Neeraja, it's for you. Can you answer to this question? Or anybody can answer to this question.
America.
America, okay. In America, which place, is there any specific tourist destination you have in mind to visit if you happen to visit there in future?
We are only about 6 hours drive from Disney World here.
So they are very lucky enough to have the Disney World just how many minutes? Yeah,
But
how
it's
many minutes drive?
But 6 hours. It's about 6 hours drive.
Anyhow, they are lucky enough to have a Disney World, which is very fascinating for the children and very crazy for anybody. Yes. Any more questions, students? Can you ask any question? Do you have any question in mind? Because we have 3 minutes time is left. Nagalakshmi,
Sir, can I ask?
yes, Donita.
What is famous food in your country?
What's famous?
Famous food.
Oh, famous food.
Okay, that's a really good question.
Well, there's stereotype American would be like
Mhm.
cheeseburgers and stuff, but Anna will tell you South Carolina food is different, I think.
Yes. So where I live, of course, overall in America, there are two pretty famous foods: the cheeseburger or the hamburger, and a hot dog. So everybody knows that. But where I live, because we live in the South, we have lots of different foods. So we eat a lot of fried chicken. We have some, I'd say there's this food, grits. I like it. It's ground up corn, I think. And it tastes pretty good. It's like porridge or oatmeal. Do you have any others?
Well, in Charleston, there's a lot of seafood, isn't there?
Yes, yeah, we eat a lot of seafood. Fish and shrimp and crabs are pretty common.
Yeah.
And I'd say,
And there's kind of we do a lot of brisket and all that. How would you describe
Yeah.
brisket?
brisket.
Is it beef? Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
lots of that. I'd say
A lot of fried stuff. They fry a lot here,
mhm.
which is actually something common with Glasgow. We deep fry a lot of stuff as well.
Americans also like to eat dessert. Our main desserts, ice cream, and then cake.
Blueberry pies.
Blueberry
I like
pie,
blueberry
yeah.
pie in America. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those are pretty common.
Donita, what is your favorite food? Donita, what is Indian's
Chicken
favorite food?
biryani.
Yeah.
Chicken biryani.
Well, I was going to say in the United Kingdom, Indian food is very popular, the most popular takeaway food, because we have a lot of people that came from India. And Indian food is the most popular takeaway food in the United Kingdom. I don't know if you guys eat this, but chicken tikka masala is the most popular takeaway food in the United Kingdom.
Hello. Since we have some technical issues. David, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time, that your morning time. And we have enjoyed so much about the country. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. I think I have encountered a technical problem here. So I am trying to clear that. Yes. So thank you so much, David, and your student, especially your student, and she has done a great job in answering to many questions.